Hey folks, Real Estate Ed here. Have you ever had one of those moments in your career where you think, wow, this is the big leagues? And then something happens that completely changes how you see everything? Here's a little story. My first real job out of school was for a Fortune 500 company. Tight deadlines, high expectations, lots of people in expensive suits who looked like they had it all figured out. There was one senior woman, I won't name drop, but she was the kind of person that everyone just gravitated towards. Very calm under pressure, knew the room, and somehow made like the worst decks into like a TED Talk. One day, we were deep in the war room, living off like stale coffee, Red Bull, potato chips. Everybody was running on fumes. I caught a rare moment with her in between the meetings, and I asked her, if you could give me, one piece of advice, something that you wish you'd known earlier, what would it be? And she didn't even look up from her laptop, and she just said, this isn't a family, it only feels like it. And let me tell you, that hit harder than I expected. Not because I disagreed, but because I really wanted her to be wrong. I looked around the room. We were spending about 14 hours a day together. Team dinners, inside jokes, sending memes, texting, the whole 9 yards. It genuinely felt like a family. But over time, I started to see what she meant. You bond with the team, you go through the trenches together, and in the end, it all ends. People get promoted, people move on, the group chat kind of gets quiet, the inside jokes kind of fade, and then you realize some of those, those ride or die friendships were really just more proximity based and pressure based more than anything else. But that doesn't mean they weren't real. It just means that they weren't permanent. And I feel like that's a really important difference. So I learned a few things from that experience. First, don't confuse personal closeness with professional closeness. Additionally, don't base your identity on being liked on a temporary team. And don't expect permanence from something that is designed to end. What actually does stick is how you show up in the in-betweens, like how you treat people when things aren't going your way, being consistent, being kind, all the little things no one puts in a KPI sheet. And the best people I've worked with, they weren't always the smartest, but they were the ones who made the room just better. And that's what I carry with me. Not the illusion of permanence, but the intention to make the moment matter, even if it's fleeting. Because almost everything in this world is temporary. Projects end, offices close, roles change, clients leave, but how you live through it, that is what lasts. Because in the end, it's not about holding on, it's about how you show up while you're there. So let me ask you guys, have you ever had a team that felt like a family until it didn't? How do you stay grounded when everything around you keeps changing? And what's one small way you try to leave a mark knowing that it won't last forever? As always, I'm Real Estate Ed, or just Ed, so I'll talk to you soon.